of what everybody has been talking about, and that is the epic collapse of the Green Bay Packers. Yes, guys, they did lose on Sunday to the Cleveland Browns. Yes, guys, they did, potentially have a game or a shot to close the game out many times. But you know what? People were high on the Green Bay Packers. People were throwing shade at me because I did not have them like number 2 and number 3 in their power rankings, right? I just slid them just into the top 5. People were dogging me left and right. The Packers are the real deal. Packers are the real deal. And I was starting to drink the Kool-Aid. I was starting to mix the punch. I was starting to jump on that bandwagon, but then bada bing, bada boom, week 3 of the NFL season happened. Was it the trap weekend? Was it overlooking them? Whatever. I don't know what it was, but we got to ask the obvious question of the day. Guys, did the Green Bay Packers fool us into thinking they were actually good? Yes, fool's gold. Did they fool us to think that they were good? Guys, let's be real. Sunday against the Cleveland Browns was ugly. The Green Bay Packers had a 10-point lead late in the fourth quarter, and they let it slip away. Jordan Love threw a brutal interception that gave the Cleveland Browns life. And then the Browns tied it up the very next play. Then, when the Packers had a chance to redeem themselves, man, this field goal gets blocked. What happens next? The Browns marched down the field and hit a 55-yard walk-off to win it. From a 10-point cushion to a stunning 13-10 loss in just minutes. And Micah Parsons, the man, the myth, the legend, the man that you want to build all your defenses around, he was very, very blunt afterwards. He didn't mince his words. He said the Packers basically shit themselves. They defecated in their sheets. They were, he was a man of many words, right? Those are his words, not mine. And sometimes you just simply shit the bed. Guys, the reality is that's the reality in the NFL. If you don't show up every Sunday or Thursday or Monday to play your best football, you are going to get beat like teams like the Cleveland Browns. No shade to the Cleveland Browns. They are a decent football team. They have a great defense. The offense is a little suspect, but at the end of the day, the Green Bay Packers simply shit the bed. But this wasn't just one mistake, right? It was the offense in general, the defense, the special teams, all collapsing together. All collapsing together. And this game has raised some serious red flags in my eyes. Guys, obviously the offensive line is banged up. They are missing 2 of their starters, and it showed. Jordan Love was sacked 5 times. Yes, Myles Garrett is the man, the myth, the legend. Yes, the Browns defense is that damn good. We get sacked 5 times after getting sacked 0 times the first 2 weeks. Something has got to give. This offense only managed 10 points. It is their lowest since week 8 of last season after scoring 27 points in each of the first 2 games. And Jordan Love, he made the kind of mistakes late in a game that you just can't make if you're going to be considered a legit contender. AKA throwing a stupid-ass interception. That interception was terrible. Sure, the Packers are 2-1. And yes, technically they're leading the NFC North. Technically, they're still the front runners in the NFC North. But losing to a winless Brown team in this type of fashion stings. And it could end up haunting them in the playoff race later on. Think about when the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders played last season. If the Bears would have beat the Commanders that week, their season may have been totally different. Can you guys hear that rain? It is raining cats and dogs here. But let's focus on the bigger picture here. The bigger picture here is, guys, so did the Green Bay Packers fool us? After 2 solid games to start the season, they may have turned the corner, right? Everything was Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. But Sunday showed that they're still a very, very flawed team. Maybe they're not as good as we thought. Or maybe this is just a character-building loss that Parsons may have suggested. But either way, it has planted some doubt in my eyes. For me, I am leaning toward that the Green Bay Packers fooled us a little bit. They look strong out of the gate, but that collapse reminds us that they're still a team with major question marks. Until they prove that they can close out games against weaker opponents, a.k.a. the Cleveland Browns, it's going to be hard for me to put them back up into this legit contenders list. But what do you guys think? Did the Packers fool us into thinking that they're better than they really are, or is this just a bump in the road? Guys, comment down below. This is a live interactive show in the middle of a freaking monsoon outside. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here, youtube.com. So let's get into the comments and discuss your thoughts. James Frank says it's storming here in West, by God, Virginia. It is storming bad here. James, Bills are definitely the real deal. We're talking about the Buffalo Bills coming up here. So Alpha Rob says the people were hyping up the Packers way too much. I agree with that. And honestly, Alpha Rob, I was one of those people. Matter of fact, I said this. I said with Micah Parsons, after week 1, hell, after week 2, I said this is a Super Bowl caliber team. This is a team that the rest of the NFC is trying to catch, right? We said right here, after they beat the Detroit Lions. After they beat the, who they play week 2? Can't you think of it right now? We're like, hey, this team is for real. And now here we are. This is how crazy the NFL is from week to week to week. They go from a Super Bowl caliber team to a team where they can like, whoa, shit, they may not even make the playoffs. Now, as people were hyping them up a little bit, right? I still think we need to slow it down, baby. We still need to slow it down, and we still need to understand that the Green Bay Packers are still a very, very good football team. Will they go 15-2, 14-3? Probably not. They're probably a 12-13 win team. Let's just be flat out honest about it. But on the other hand, if they get hot at the right time, if the defense plays the way they can and they will make a deep playoff run. Good boys, that rain is wicked right now. Like I am in a insulated, thick insulation studio here, and it's wow. James Frank says I'm still high on the Green Bay Packers. They're still a young team. Ours, meaning the Cleveland Browns defense, is just pretty damn good. Love will go and learn from this. Think they're still battling out for the number 1 spot. James Frank, this whole Green Bay Packers is a young team still is getting tired out. They've been the youngest team in the NFL for the last 3 seasons. At some point, it's time to mature a little bit. At some point, it is time to figure out yourselves like, hey, we are young, right? But damn it, we are going to go do some work. We are going to go out there and we are going to run the NFC North. And Jordan Love is a really, really good quarterback. I think he gets a lot of hate because he just simply plays for the Green Bay Packers. Just like Dak Prescott gets a lot of hate simply because Dak Prescott plays for the Green Bay Packers. Gary Nelson is showing on this team. The injuries are catching up with this team. We will blow it out of proportion. I keep muting James because I keep sneezing. Allergies are terrible right now. Plus it's plus the microphone has a voice thingy majig, so I think the rain is just picking up the wind. But yes, Gary, we are going to freak out when the Bills lose. We are going to freak out when the Colts lose. We're going to freak out when the Chargers lose, the Eagles lose, and the 49ers or the Buccaneers lose. We are going to freak out. James Frank says, my boy's a Packers fan, and he's hating on Love all week. I don't understand the hate for Jordan Love, honestly. In segment number 2 for the day, we're going to talk about Jordan Love, and I don't understand this hate. And Alpha Rob asked me the question, said, do you trust Love? I do trust Love. Married my beautiful wife, my best friend. I do trust Love. Oh, Jordan Love. Hold that thought. We'll be talking about Jordan Love much deeper here in a very, very quick. My man, John Setter's in the chat. What's up, John?
pigskin pun. Get you some.
He says, simply put, nope, Alpha Rob. Love is a bum. Love is a bum. Guys, John is a Detroit Lions fan. I got the game on right here. Last check, I saw it was 7-7. I don't know. But if you guys do not have ESPN, we are airing that Detroit Lions game, Baltimore Ravens game, if you want to go out there and watch the game. James Frank says, I keep telling him I gladly take Love on the Cleveland Browns. Hear that? Let me repeat that for the people in the back.